Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschilla, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Gonna wait for people to start coming in. Let me know when you show up. I'm gonna post something to Twitter. I don't have, I don't think cards here, so all right, I gotta read this group chat, but I'm doing some things at the same time. This is a big night. This is gonna be our live sim. And whoever comes in is in the chat, let me know. I think it's just loading up, right? What's up? Lightning McQueen's in the house. All right, here we go. This is going to be the sound of my beer opening. All right, this is going to get pretty crazy. And I am showing my list, so that's actually not that cool. My Creighton list. All right, commissioner mode. This is it. We're going to get more people in before I do the live move here. Oh, shit. That's going to be some private details as well. I'll have to change my password probably after the stream. So, great. Okay. I'm going to have to move the date pretty quickly, but let's get more people in here before I do that. Send this to Twitter. And yeah, sometimes it's good to have more than one person fill up the dead air. Could have someone chatting while another person's getting stuff set up. This is what I call the recruiting bonanza. Hopefully it's pretty crazy. Okay, let's see here. Can we get these Twitch updates out? Let's try to get as many people as we can. One thing I don't realize is that, yeah, I guess the commission screen has a lot of details on it, so that's not really the brightest thing to sit on that page before I move, is it? Streamlabs. All right, so we got Blazer Taz in the chat. We got Lightning McQueen in the chat. Yeah, I'd be celebrating too. Oregon State Elite Eight. That's pretty crazy. How's everything looking? Are we seeing this slow ticker going by? And definitely don't want to have Kelvin be revealed to you, Foolish Jedi. Let's see. Okay, 7 people. I wonder how many we should wait for before we move on. But feel free to ask any questions, throw some stuff in the chat. That's what I'm here to help answer, move along. So Hughes is here, all right. We're talking about Oral Roberts. Maybe a Cinderella story there in real life. Okay. All right. I'm only going to give it another 5 minutes or so before I move on. Let's see. All right, we're starting to fill up. I don't want anyone to miss this moment. Let's put it on the polls and media screen here. No, cards is not on yet tonight, and I got to get this fixed. So this is Chris. This is the guy behind who's put some of this together and trying to do some big things here with everybody. I'm excited about this league. I'm excited about my teams, excited about you guys. And it's crazy. I've never been in a league this big, so it's something that is a pretty big accomplishment if we get over 100 and keep pushing it. All right. So here's the top 25. It's already on the screen. It's already on the ticker. This is going to be a pretty crazy time. Next time we'll probably patch someone in. They can chat as well. So at the moment, it's pretty much just going to be a reveal. Now, I'm going to test some things here in the stream to maybe hide boxes because the first screen that I go to is probably going to give away a lot of information. That's not something that we want to do. It's not going to ruin the night. Someone's going to catch something a little earlier. So what I want to do is I'm going to test this hide and show. So right now I just pressed the hide on the screen. Do all y'all see that that's hidden? I need to see some responses for that. All right, okay. Acknowledgement just sent in, sounds good. That's what we need, right? Okay, so without any further waiting, I don't think we can wait any longer, no? We got what, 7:10. Let's get this started or what? All right. That's a unanimous yes. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this commish screen, run it. I'm going to change my password mostly because of the security reasons afterwards, but I'll do it for this particular sim. So what you're going to see now is the game is on September the 11th. So we're going to go now from this point, which I've saved and backed everything up, to advance, and that's going to be the results. There's going to be no other chance of loading something up, seeing a different outcome or whatever. We're on September the 11th, and someone's writing me right now trying to join the league. Now is not the best time. Put it on hold. And so what we're going to do is go from here, all right? So everyone's seeing my mouse. I can see it on the screen here. We're going to advance the league from this point, and I just want to make sure it's going to take me back to a screen that I want. Hopefully it takes me to the one here, but I definitely can't go to recruiting because I'm on the commissioner, so just super nervous about making sure no one sees anything. And I don't think from this screen there's going to be any risks. So what I'm going to do is, well, when I go into that recruiting screen, is I'm going to put my hand over one of my eyes, and I'm going to make sure that I effing hell do not see anything besides maybe Khalid Smith. There's going to be some grays, and we're going to go from here, all right? So let's not wait too long, and let's just keep going. This is it. Advanced time, pressing it. Here we go. It is processing. Khalid, whatever. I don't know, man. Pick a generic last name. Stevens, somebody. Yeah, no shit, it's you. Everyone can see this top 25 with the Zags in the #1 position, right? All right, it's the 18th. Something big has happened, right? Okay, so to not have this get screwed up in any way, I have permission to use Cards' Louisville account. We're going to go into that account, and then we're going to go to recruiting, and we're going to start and back from the highest recruits in order and take a look at the information. So from this point, what I'm going to do now is, just so I switch the user, get to recruiting, and then I don't see it, I am going to just black out the screen really quickly, and all y'all can be all nervous for the outcome of this. So that's off. I'm moving now to the person we're going to use. I'm putting my hand over where hypothetically the recruitment place is going to be for the names and the teams. I just went into Cards' account. I'm just looking at the recruiting screen, and there's a lot of grays, and I don't see the team names. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this player, and I'm going to go over now. We're in 125. I'm going to reveal the screen. And we're in 125. I didn't see a thing. Don't know who's gone yet. And we're starting at this point, and I'm going to be pressing left each time. So here we are. Ross Thompson. And I guess if Cards bought a gold package, you guys can see the top 10. Does anybody care about Ross Thompson? And I should probably delay a bit just so that you guys can see what's up. I haven't saved the game, so I don't know if it crashes. That's not good, I guess, but it doesn't really crash at this point, so I think we're all right. All right, I'm guessing no one really cares about Ross Thompson. We're going to move one more over to show how this process works. 124, Ryan Wallace. And I think I have JUCOs on as well. Junior college players have been turned on in the list. I was thinking about excluding them, but for some teams, they're quite valuable, right? So don't want to do that. Move quickly. Look, if you don't have time to commit to this experience, then I would just recommend you go to bed and get tucked in, because what's happening here is we're going to have a nice walk down, crappy player lane and have a good examination of what's happening. So Boise State is the top player on Ryan Wallace. That's Matt from GMG Squad. So that's big news for Matt if he's on the chat. Next, undeclared Darren Rosen. Rosen was, I think Duke sent an offer. I actually had to with Justin, so that's someone out there. Undeclared in the first night. Central Florida, in on the chase. Pretty local, pretty East region related. So nothing with Darren Rosen yet. And I would appreciate if the account that I use isn't the one that's trash talking me at the it's my second persona talking shit. All right. Next. Nick Dilligard. I have no idea who this is. Nick is a 4-star recruit, and Cards has no idea what is his story, has no information on the player, not signed. All right. Penny Kremer, I don't know. Pronunciations are not going to be, from Israel, all right. Not signed, so very underwhelming right now in this this higher end of the chart. This is how it's going to go. If you need to go grab a beverage for the stream, this is the delay it's going to be like. So nobody for Penny, and we're moving on. 120, Chris Kidd. Nothing happening. Shooter, 120, moved up 18 spots. Indiana, nothing happening here. Carlos Harper, undecided, JUCO, from Hawaii, Wash State, Nevada, Mississippi, St. Mary's in on him. Some West Coast interest and undecided at this point. 118, Bill Green, Florida, Georgia Tech in, Florida in, Miami Hurricanes in, undecided at this point. Next, 117, declared, Arizona State with a signing, position 117, and from Hawaii, going to Arizona State, Alvin Trask, shooting guard, can shoot from the outside. And I'm really not that interested in these guys, but someone needs them. Blazer lost a guy from Hawaii, and that's too bad. Steve Smiley, 116, no go. Loyola, Illinois, top interested school. Exciting times here in the hundreds, the 110 range to 120 range. Don't miss it. Next, 115, Colin Brown, undeclared, still going. No top 10 available. Next, 114, Courtney Williams from Georgia Military College High School, 2.2 GPA. Overall, not that great. I don't know. I don't remember these guys from camps, but not on Cards' watch list. That's for sure. All right, moving on. 113, Mark Mitchell, undeclared. If everyone's going to get too bored of this range, I think there are people that care about small schools, and so I do want to respect this high recruiting rating. I think there's a lot of interesting players between 50 to 70, 70 to 90 that can be really very good long-term pieces for teams. So in that sense, these guys are valuable. But I'll keep moving along as I talk. Robert McKay and Vanderbilt's in on the chase. Auburn's in on the chase. Another undeclared player. I do know that there are quite a few in the top 15 that look great. So it is going to get pretty crazy. And I'll let the chat go nuts when something, interesting happens. All right, 111, Justin Dennis. Missouri State, Baylor, Northern Iowa, top 3 in on this player. Undeclared at this point, still available for another night. If anyone on the stream sees someone that they like and they're interested in, there's still a chance to pivot, change to another team, and see what you can do. Andre Brown, 110, undeclared. And we're going to go through this list, whether you guys like it or not. So might as well buckle up. Andre Brown, 110, Georgia, Miami, Arkansas, undeclared. 109, Roland Johnson. A lot of A's there. That looks like someone who could be an interesting player. Another player from Hawaii. I think I heard at one point Hawaii wouldn't have any recruits, but it looks like they're doing not too bad. That's all right. Gary did not neglect them in this sim, looks like. So another recruit from Hawaii, undeclared, available for the Zags, BYU, and Northwestern in on the chase. 108, Zach Madison, Nevada, Utah, Oregon State, undeclared, still available, a player you might consider, but at this point, not much is up. Next, Bobby Floyd, 107, Houston, TCU, St. Louis, undeclared, still hasn't moved. Next, 106, the guy from Finland, Tainen, Nuriki Tainen, a 6'8" power forward, low GPA, probably doesn't matter in this game. They sign anyway. Next, Eddie Bailey. And we got no declaration from Eddie. 6'4", Florida, undeclared. We're almost into the top 100. We're almost there. It'll be okay, guys. Next, John Green. Mississippi State, Miami, no declarations. These guys are definitely up for the taking. They are not players who are easily committed to something. So over 100, that's kind of what it's like. Next, Hunter, nothing. I think there's going to be some guys that they're interested in soon. But anyways, we'll keep it moving here. Gross, nothing available. Still undeclared. Wake Forest, Old Dominion, Utah in on the mix. Still waiting on that. And we're almost into the top 100. So Casey Stooks, Boston College, UMass, Wake Forest. These are teams interested in Casey. Nothing yet. And we're into the 100. Joseph Desire Joseph Desire Carbonneau, French international. Actually, I've seen a couple of people have this guy on their list. So this is not someone that people have ignored, but undeclared at this point, an international player. And this is someone that, who was it? Josh has an offer out, I think, too, because he needed some help on his team. So we did that. Next, here we go. 99, Nebraska. So John Lowe has a signing. Kevin Lentz has gone to Nebraska. And if John's in the chat, he could be pretty happy about that, but he's locked up a 6-foot guard who can shoot from the outside. Texas A&M was second, and TCU was third in on the chase for Kevin Lentz. Next, Peter Miller, this is the JUCO. He already signed actually in September the 11th, so forget him. Justin Vickers goes to the Ohio Bobcats in the MAC conference, and someone who can shoot from the outside. So I forget. So this is a recent guy who joined the league. Machine Earned Runs or one of the other guys, but the Ohio Bobcats have struck, and they locked up Justin Vickers from Newton Falls, Ohio. Congratulations. Next, Gaston Hoya from Argentina. This is someone who is not signed yet, and Cards does not care for this person or scouted him at all. So does not care for the internationals. That's apparent. Next, Morris Huld. Unsigned. 95. Wisconsin's in on him. Van Lorette is in on him. And I don't know who Washington is. But Blazer Taz is in on this guy. He's not signed yet, guys. Blazer Taz, your chance is still available battling Van the Red. If you guys even have an offer out. Okay. Next, James Mcintyre. And at the moment, James is unsigned. And so it's pretty boring reveal here. We're going to keep it moving. Next, Scotty Brown. NC State in on them. I think that's computer. No one took anyone in the ACC yet. Vanderbilt, Davidson. These look like computer teams. They're interested in Scotty Brown. Scotty Brown is not declared yet. All right, next. Michael Peterson, unsigned, BYU in the hunt, Utah State in the hunt, 2 AI teams all over Michael Peterson. Local to Utah, this player scores 20 a game out of high school, which is pretty on the high end. So Michael Peterson is available still and unsigned in the first signing period. Next, a signing. Oklahoma has struck with Rashawn Wheat. Rashawn Wheat from local to Oklahoma has signed with Oklahoma. And runners-up were Iowa State, Texas Tech. This is recruit number 91, declared. All right, I don't think Oklahoma is, Dapper or a Genie. Congratulations on that one. Frank Williams, unsigned. Eastern New York State type recruit. Big Apple Showcase. Bonnie's in on him. NC State AI in on him. So Ago, sorry if I can't pronounce the name. Ago is the top in the mix for this guy. Next, David Copeland, unsigned, Utah State, UCLA. So we got some UCLA here with Hustlin' Owl. Owl is probably not in the chat tonight, but this is a guy that he's chasing with the Dons from San Francisco. So they're number 3. I don't know enough about these guys, but we're getting closer into the 80s. This is like watching a really bad MLB baseball draft, guys. Like it's just going to, those rounds that just go on and on, but it's going to get better. We're going to zone in here soon. Next, Arkansas signing Kevin Iola from Panama City, Florida. Arkansas beat out Clemson Central Tech for the recruit. And here's a guy who averages 18 points a game, 6'7" at power forward, and has some weight on him at 232. So signs with Arkansas. All right, next. Marcus Davey, unsigned. And so in that case, we can just keep moving that along, but Marcus Davey is not signed yet. Belmont is in on him. The Demon Deacons are second, and Ole Miss is number 3. Next, Kazimir Toporov is unsigned. Internationals are not signing early. They're ready to have you fly to them and eat their food, learn their language, and generally anything you can do to convince them. So at this point, Kazimir is unsigned. Next, Xavier, AI team, Josh Ross, plucked. Hopefully they're just using their guys on these players in the 85 range, no one early, but one more scholarship removed from Xavier. And Josh Ross heads to the X, beating out Texas Tech and the Ohio Bobcats. Next, JP Benton, 84th undeclared, Auburn in, Miami in, South Carolina in, AI teams all over it. Illinois is in there. What's that little sneaky team? Jedi is showing a little interest in this player. Number 4 spot, JP Benton, still available to take from the coolest Jedi if you want at the 4 position. Just putting it out there. Next, signed Iowa State, Terrence Edwards, AI team signing. Gone, and I'm pretty sure no one took the Cyclones, whatever they are. And they're available. The AI is striking in the brutal mode. What else we got next? Will Manley undeclared. Iowa State in on this player. They're just going to run out of scholarships. Hopefully they're wasting them up high, but another player undeclared. Keep it going. Mike Cherry, Kent State, Wake Forest, Akron, Zips. Top 3, undeclared, local to Illinois, and still unsigned. So it's pretty boring. Next, Justin Ned. This is somebody that actually I have some interest in. Not to be too revealing, but if you do see those Aztecs down there, I'm trying to get in the mix on this dude. So I won't talk too much about him, but just unsigned might not be a bad thing. Next, Jamal Grauer. Don't know enough about him, but the Gophers are in. The Buckeyes are in. Michigan is in, but the player is unsigned yet. Jamal Grauer still available at 79. Jarvis Daniels, 78, power forward, can shoot on the inside, which you hope someone at the power forward position should be able to do. Missouri State, TCU, Iowa State. I guess the AI from Iowa State is on everyone. So that's they're pretty crazy. All right, 77, Jerome Jacks. And I love the emphasis on the Jacks part. That is swag right there. Jerome Jacks. This man is going potentially to Nebraska, going potentially to Iowa State again. Houston's showing up again. Oklahoma's showing up again. Colorado is interested in Jacks, and that's Aguilia. He's got some interest in this guy. I would take him just for the name alone. This guy's got something to him. Almost like God Shamgod, another great name out there. Larry Rollerson, a big, lack of bigs in this recruiting pool. I think they're going to be very valuable. And Graham, Oregon, number 1 position right now for Larry. Larry looks really bruised and beat up around the eyes there. I don't know what happened. But Larry's taking elbows to the face and looks pretty tough. So 243, 6'8", a lot of weight. VCU in a close third, but right now it's between Vin, Kalia, I don't know. And then Vin and Graham. So Larry's still out there. Next. 75, Robert Florence, undeclared. We got the Aggies, we got Texas Tech, and we got Houston. And they're still in on it, and no one else that we know is really in on them. So that's about it. Alex Simmons, undeclared. St. John's, top of the mix. Wolfpack, a competitor of mine, AI, from the Mountain West Conference. Number 2 there. And another Mountain West team, Utah State there. So some competitors to the Aztecs trying to get in on that. Ante Nemec from Croatia. And if it was Icy, I would think it would be Mitch, but Nemec is undeclared international, hasn't selected anyone, still available. And they all look like 2.2, 2.5 GPA guys. Zeno Monomakis, sorry. Greek, international, unsigned, still available at the 72 position. Istok Mankok from Slovenia, still available at the 71st position. So there's this whole batch of international players that seem to be around this range. I don't know, the 70 to 78. Maybe this happens every year. They just It's a good spot for internationals, I guess. Michael Evans, undeclared. I think this is some one that has been of interest to people. So as you can see, Blazer Taz, Iowa State, Michigan in on him. Michael Evans is undeclared. Moving on. Here we go. Arkansas. We're into the top 70 now. Arkansas signed this player. UAB came out runner-up. But Marshall Prater has now gone to the Arkansas Razorbacks. And he gave them a thumb up. I think has interest in cards, I guess, but has gone to Arkansas. Jimmy Romano, Stanford, USC, Utah State. They're interested. This is a JUCO player. I've actually had some really good ones in the past from smaller teams. They can be quite valuable. So Jimmy Romano is unsigned at this point from New Mexico. Jordy Patton, unsigned. Seton Hall, top of the mix. Seton Hall's got actually a really good player. And Dionisio Lewis, I think is the guy's name. And so that AI team is looking to add some help if Dionisio leaves. So Jordy Patton here, center, unsigned at this point. 66, Mike Flores, Cincinnati, Georgia Tech, Ohio State, and unsigned at this point. Bearcats are top of the mix, and Yellow Jackets number 2. Next, Ben Foreman to Colorado. Agalia has struck. He's struck early and might strike late. He has taken Ben Foreman, point guard, can shoot from the outside, can pass, can handle, 65, beat out Missouri, beat out Spider, beat out Random Task, and beat out the AI. So congratulations there. And Ben Foreman to the Buffaloes. Next, Armin Lovett, center, unsigned, still available, hot from Maryland, hot from VTech. Maryland is Kid Coffee Black, I think. And he's in on him. Tyler, I think it's from VTech, is in on him. I'll remember everyone eventually for this league. And Marquette is also a competitor. Unsigned at this point. Elton Abrams, 63, unsigned. Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Providence. All right, next. Minnesota has entered into the recruiting realm with Jerry Strange. Jerry Strange, shooting guard, B+ overall player, A outside shooting from Michigan, goes from Michigan to Minnesota, beats out Georgia Tech on the East Coast, stays in the Midwest, and a signing by Minnesota. Well done. Nick Murray, unsigned. Purdue, Georgia Tech, Dayton, in on him still. This is an unsigned player. So we're entering into the top 60 now. This is the next spot we're going to get into. Rashawn Thomas, Utah, Arizona State, South Carolina, Honolulu, Hawaii. Hey, Hawaiian players are dominating this. I think we got a support ticket in, made sure Gary heard what we had to say about our love for Hawaii. And again, another Hawaiian player. Rashawn Thomas, unsigned, Utah, in on the mix. The West Coast is in on the mix for him with Arizona State. Matt Mullahan. Shizer. All right, so this is one of the guys I guess I was kind of going for, but small forward. I'm pretty sure there could be better out there, but Oregon, Graham has struck with Matt Mullahan. Can shoot inside, can score, I guess a little mid-range game. 6'8", 210. This is someone that was in San Diego State's, lens here. So that is a loss for me. But congratulations to Graham. Next, Jerry Phillips. Temple, Alabama, Kansas State as the next top 3. Unsigned at the 58 slot. Nowhere going yet. Jerry Phillips is still available and still out there. 57, Winston Brown. Washington, Utah State lead the top 3 for Winston's preference at this point. And yeah, that's about it for that guy. Kenneth Green, 56, Dayton, Texas Tech, South Carolina. Here's a guy who's unsigned. He has a lot of greens in his representation here for center. Defense and rebounding, can't really hate on that. I don't know if these are true numbers. Didn't do too well at Indy, at least according to Cards data. Was in the top 25 at Chicago Prep. But here's a guy who's unsigned, but showing some pretty good scouting grades at this point. Cliff Parker, Georgia. Someone just added Georgia recently. So Georgia, Cliff Parker has come to your team. You beat out the Gamecocks. You beat out the Razorbacks. And Cliff Parker is now somebody who's joined the Georgia Bulldogs. All right, next. Nate Hines, Georgia Tech. The AI is getting their piece. And they've landed another player with Florida. And now it's going to start getting crazy. This is almost into the top 50. Everyone needs to have a sip. 51 down, and there's a lot of names people will know. Mullahan, you can live without a Mullahan at the end of the day, right? So the way I see it, everything is going to start getting crazy from here. Bart Tubbs goes to the AIX. What that means is that he's not going to Ohio State. There was an offer out there from the Buckeyes. Bart Tubbs has shunned the human-owned teams. Bart Tubbs is off the market and is going to the X, and he's gone. So if anyone missed it, Bart Tubbs will not be on your team. Next. This guy can shoot, by the way. Very interesting player. A+ shooting, scoring, showed some pretty good camp data. This man can play, and he might play for 4 years. So keep an eye on this guy. Matt Bullock signs directly to Indiana. A no-brainer. We kind of looked at it with Cards on the last broadcast of GM Games. And, Cards brought his energy, brought his knowledge to the table, had some fun. Matt Bullock was examined. Matt Bullock looked like Indiana, and he's sticking in local state, the only team that he really had any kind of desire for. This was a guy, though, that was on my personal radar, and he's signed now, but he's long gone. So 51, Jerry Tucker unsigned. There's been some movement, so I think Bullock was a 51 or something. This guy moves in at a 51 now, -2 from the 53 position, unsigned. We got more AI Dayton out there, so that's all good. And next, we're going to be officially in the top 50 for whoever's still watching this. We got 20 people watching this broadcast. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to throw anything out there. I'm going through this list, trying to read the chat when I can. And here we go, the top 50. It's all happening right here. Jonathan Levitt was on Creighton's list. I actually sent an offer out to this guy, but he goes to the Aggies. Jonathan Levitt, the point guard, performed well in the Great Plains camp, has now signed with Texas A&M. And that is actually, I think, a human-owned team. I think recently they may have just had someone take them over. But Jonathan Levitt is off the market, and we're entering into the top 50. Rashawn Collins, USC. So Van has got somebody that was on his list, someone that can score, someone that can definitely score from the mid-range, plays D. But Van has got somebody, Rashawn Collins from Spokane, has joined USC, and Van has entered into the mix. Next, Terrence Cook, still undecided. Stanford's out there. Doesn't show the grades here for GPA. I guess that's because of some sort of report that wasn't available, but Vandy in on him. Stanford's an 1100 SAT school, so that's one of those schools that you kind of need good grades to get to. So if they're in on him, he must be a pretty good student. But Terrence Cook is unsigned here at the 48 position. Next, Terry Timmons, unsigned. Now, there's some offers that have gone out. Terry Timmons is from the West Coast, was a pretty decent player in their camp. We got Hustlanow number 1. We got Graham. We got Blazer Taz, who just flies all over America. The man, it will find anybody, but he's in the number 3 spot. Above me, which is, you have lots to pick from in the Midwest. There's no need for you to do that. But there he goes. All right. Terry Timmons, unsigned, still available for another pitch. Sebastiano Franceschini, unsigned international in the top 50, 41, moved up a position. This is a power forward from northern Italy, I guess. So he's blonde as hell. And he is somebody who's still undecided. So if you're interested in Sebastiano Franceschini, he's still out there. Next, Jackson Ross, Canada, represent, 45, unsigned, and at the moment has nobody. Cards really doesn't care about internationals. This is just a blank slate of nothingness. All right, next. Josh Mccasland, Louisiana State. For a second, I thought this was Josh because this is usually his teams. But LSU has signed a player, and from Louisiana, the local state. This is a pretty good player. This is a point guard that was pretty good in Memphis, top 25. I can just cheat sheet right here on the list of notes that are showing up. So that's a bit about Josh. Let's keep it moving. 43, Evan Evans, unsigned. Great name. Up there with Jax now, Jax. And Evan Evans is not signed. We're waiting to see what is up with him. All right, 42, Dwayne Ward, not the pitcher from the Blue Jays in the 90s. Reliever. A guy is from Cincinnati, Ohio. Minnesota, Purdue, Butler in on this mix. Unsigned, undetermined, can still be out there for somebody. Brian Wheeler, this is a really good player, still unsigned. Has shown some great skills in camps. Still having a little think about where to go. And there are new teams in the mix for him. And looks like he could be leaving the West Coast the way it's looking for the top 10 at the moment. All right, Brian Wheeler next. Joey Lucas, Pitt, Villanova, West Virginia. That's the top 3. So we got Jonathan Spencer, number 1. Nova, the AI. Huggins, the AI, unsigned. So now we're entering into the top 40. Here comes 39 next. Jared Robinson, Pitt. And Jonathan Spencer has, again, from the last guy to this guy, has landed a player. Pitt, as you can see at the bottom, is, I think, in the top 25. Probably the 12th or 13th position. So you see Ohio State, North Carolina, and there comes Pittsburgh on the bottom of your screen. Number 12. All right, next. Henry Mcmillan, unsigned, decent player. AI's all over him at Baylor, Notre Dame, BYU. Agalia has kind of sniffed him out. He's now in the list, and it looks like he's completely rejected anything to do with me, and looks like there's a competition with AI versus Agalia with another AI team in Nova. BYU is AI, but I don't know if they're actually that much of a threat whatsoever. At the moment, they haven't signed anybody. Next. John Cooper, unsigned, international from England. I think Coach Fury was interested in this guy, had a little bit of a tie to home. So here's somebody that was of interest to Coach Fury and still unsigned at the moment. Matt Fox from Wagoner, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, number 1, still hasn't signed, though. Kansas in on him. Notre Dame in on him. Kansas has enough guys. So I don't know. What are you going to use the 5th, 6th scholarship? Just keep adding players. But either way, Kansas is kind of has a big watch list. This guy has nice stats. I don't think you can really hate on that. But at the moment, he's unsigned. So time to move to 35. And again, if you guys have any questions or anything, just throw them out in the chat. I can read them with the Streamlabs. And, I'm seeing you guys right now, stuff about funds from football and the b-ball accounts, all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, keep that in mind. All right, Louisville. Oh no. Cards. Colt Carlisle from Peekskill, New York. Cards is taking somebody away from the markets. So if you're still watching here, Louisville Cardinals have somebody. Cincinnati lost out, just lost out. I think that's Lightning McQueen, right? But the Louisville Cardinals have entered into the recruiting mix with a early commitment, handshake agreement, or verbal agreement with the hopes that it'll pass the 2.5 GPA test. But Colt Carlisle has for now said he's going to Louisville. Next. Terence Dearborn, Bama, Roll Tide. They take their guy. That's Kebs. He's Lance's player, and Terence Dearborn. Terence Dearborn is a point guard, under 6 feet, not that tall, pretty skinny, can pass, can score, can shoot from the outside, beating out Memphis and Tennessee for his services. Terence Dearborn is going to sign with Alabama at the 34 position. All right, next. Kevin Thomas, Zion Lutheran High School, unsigned, from Florida, East Coast player. Lots of greens showing up now in the skill rating, so the talent is heating up. We're almost into the top 25. It's been a long journey here tonight on the stream, but we are almost there. Tennessee, Marquette, West Virginia, top 3. Kevin Thomas is still out there, and it wants another discussion with more people. Next, Kelvin Stewart comes to Creighton Blue Jays. Who doesn't like a good BJ? That is exactly what we're saying. Kelvin Stewart has come to Creighton. I can have a little swag dance over here, but let's just stop and pause for a second. Just admire what has happened here. Creighton has just gone above Illinois. I didn't even know it was going to happen, but this is pretty crazy. I'll take that. I don't know if he's that good, but I do know that my team now is not. So I'm happy about that. Creighton lands a player. All right. Who's next? This is getting nuts. 31. Marcus Hughes. A's all over here. Is that true? I don't even know. West Virginia. Huggins is interested in this guy. Marquette, Michigan State. All these AI guys. Well, actually, Marquette's human-owned now, and Michigan State as well. But Huggins is winning out for this player. Our mascot, and someone who represents the logo and the brand. So I think you guys called him Huggy Bear. I've never called him that. But Bob Huggins, he's a real G, and he's in on the mix of Marcus Hughes. So next. Quan Howard goes to Notre Dame. This guy, I think, is some sort of outside assassin from the Ark. I think a lot of the data was showing that this guy can shoot. And I think we're going to be seeing, I can't even pronounce his name. If it's Quinn, it's Quinn probably, right? Quinn Howard. Either way, this guy can shoot. He's going to Dame. He might be going with other guys to Dame, or maybe Notre Dame, this is why he came, because the playing time was there. I don't know. Maybe this affects the top 10. What does the chat think? Is this just one of many, or is this going to be, for example, the fallback from some guys in the top 5? What's your thoughts? I just want to hear what you guys think of that. But anyways, this is a really good signing nonetheless. So here's a guy, Indy didn't crack the top 25, but there's something up with this guy's shooting that every time you can just watch film or scout live, it's A+, and it just doesn't move, and he can pass. And he's got scoring. So this guy better shoot 40% from the arc, or, I don't know, it's kind of mediocre then, but I think he's going to be pretty damn good. All right, entering into the top 30, everybody. Here we go. And who's next? Mike Gray, a big to Louisville Cardinal. again. So we're going from Agalia to cards. The battle is on here. At least the battle at 29, 30, 32. Because I don't know what's going to happen in the top 10, but we got some of the fringe 25 guys. Maybe these are the 4-year players that kind of stick around, do something that leave a mark on all-time records for that school. So that's the kind of thing that you can get in this range, is getting a core piece to build around, and then you can kind of pursue one and dones. But right now, a big, and there are not many, has gone to Louisville. I don't even have a bid out for any big, so here we go. All right, moving on, 28. Vegas Bruce. This man is being examined by Cincinnati, UCLA. I think the grades are somewhere where his SAT is going to be tough to even break 880 to 900. So as you can see, the computer is not interested in this guy. That's usually a telltale sign that this guy's in a lot of trouble when it comes to the books. Yeah, if I was to give any advice, Lightning McQueen, if you got an offer out on him, I'd watch out. But anyways, there are schools out there with really low SATs, almost 860, 880. So Vegas Bruce, definitely a chance for one of those lower end teams. And I'll be waiting with them in South Alabama with an 880 if this guy comes around. So Vegas Bruce, come to the Sun Belt Conference. Sun Belt's where it's at. Myron Chapman. Now, this guy to me, I think he's a real joke. And the reason why is that he's A+ overall. He scores, but everything else is shit. Like, you look at like the defense, athleticism, shot blocking, rebounding. Like, he's maxing out his A+ on outside shooting. Do you want this guy? Maybe you can stretch the floor. I don't know. Maybe there's something new in this game where you can use to break zones, bring the centers out in some way. But Myron Chapman is unsigned right now, and a weird player at A+ overall. Like, does this look like A+ to you? I don't know. Especially when you have no athleticism and you can't block a shot or a rebound. All right, next. Junior Jackson, unsigned right now. West Virginia, Huggins in on the mix, 2.7 GPA. Still available, and we're entering into the top 25 after this. I'm going to have another sip. So any predictions in the chat? Top 25, what's going to happen? There's another chance to get bold predictions. Again, this is all live. This was just sim from the 11th to the 18th. And now we're going to make it into the top 25. And we're going to see tonight where the top recruit lands. Get that save out there tonight to everybody. And enjoy this experience about how it goes and see what's left. And then pivot. Like, you're just going to have to figure out a way to get an offer out there and get something for your team. But there are alternatives. You got transfer period coming eventually. You can get a recruiting coach. There's still time. So if you don't have guys in this recruiting, there's still time to build your teams. So don't worry too much about it. And we can give you tips and advice in our channel. All right, moving on to the next thing. Vyacheslav Lekova goes to Butler. So this, I don't know. You can recruit this guy or look at film on these players, watch film, but it's really a gamble at the end of the day. Could be a 4-year player, might not be, but here's a guy who's going to go to a team, and it's uncertain. This, within no camp data, goes against everything you're taught from a top 10 tips video from cards or whatever about what this player could be like. So I respect guys in this league that have a knack for picking international players. If you have that skill, you have a skill that's outside the box, and you're delivering something that is something that's not known by everybody. So I respect that a lot. But we're moving on into 24. Tyron Perkins, Marquette, 24, Wisconsin number 2, Buckeyes number 3. Marquette lands their guy. Salina, Ohio, and verbal, as it says, commitment to Marquette. All right. Sorry, Blazer. Let's see what else is up. Dana Baines. Baines, and I put this offer in for our bud Justin, who could not be with us because he was at the mall tonight. And I hope he got some coupons and some savings. And anyways, Dana Baines, we talked about this guy on Cards' stream, and who knows, but Duke needs somebody. 3.4 GPA could be something. You never know when they get there. They could stand out. They could be in transfer land. Who knows? But anyways, offer out from Duke, still unsigned, still trying to decide. Next. Bill Carrawell. There's another decent camp player. We got West Virginia, UCLA, BYU in on him, Baylor in on him, unsigned still. Lots of A's here, lots of A pluses. We're at number 22. We're creeping into the top 20, and we've been live for an hour now. So thank you for your patience. We'll get this sim out to you, and if you're up all night, I'm sorry, but we're getting into it now. We're moving along. Greg Nielsen, Arizona, power forward, signed 21. Second was Kentucky. Didn't get the player that they wanted for once, probably. But Kentucky loses someone to the Wildcats. And the Ducks are number 3 in the mix for this guy. But Greg Nielsen goes to the Arizona Wildcats. Next, Hashim Pruitt, Cincinnati Bearcats. So Lightning Mcqueen, he was disappointed earlier, but he is not disappointed now. Lightning McQueen, I see you in the chat. What is your reaction? It is Pruitt time. It's Pruitt time in Bearcat country. Pruitt signs. Marquette loses. Michigan State loses. And he's coming to Cincinnati. All right. We're moving on to the next recruit. We're going into the top 20. John Thurman, Florida State point guard. I don't know. Oh, FSU Ben 3K is in on the mix of a player here, and he's entered in. He has a verbal commitment from John Thurman, 6'5", taller guard, skinny, can shoot from the outside, can pass, ball handling's at the B- slot, and beats out Clemson, beats out Bama, and beats out the AI at Nova. So here we go. We're going to number 18. It's about to get crazy. Mike Bender goes to, is it Nibby B? Nimmy B? Mike Bender has signed with the Tar Heels, with the baby powder blue North Carolina Tar Heels. Off the market. He's from Lexington, but this guy shunned Louisville, shunned Clemson, Baylor, Mich State. Bender goes to the prestige school at North Carolina. All right, next. Anton Gordon comes to Creighton. Fuck, man. If I keep hitting these guys, you guys are going to wonder what the hell. I didn't expect this. I didn't, fuck, I don't have a, I'm swearing on the stream. I can't believe it. I don't even know where, is there more guards? I must have lost out on the other guys. But now I'm just thinking about my own situation. I did not expect that. Texas dropped to 4. Kansas, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. But Anton Gordon, is he a one and done guy just on the outside? All right. Pretty sweet. Next. Jason Humphrey, small forward, unsigned. 16, North Carolina, Villanova, Wisconsin. Unsigned. Still available. What is up? North Carolina's in on them. I don't know if I can see these offers. There's offers out or whatever. But here we go. We're entering the top 15 now. Let's see. Edmund Parquet. Pitt. Jonathan Spencer lands another player. And Edmund Parquet. Well, if you want to get real French, then it's Parquet. But Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. Pitt. It's pretty local. UConn misses out. Huggins misses out. CBGM Huggy misses out. But Parquet goes to Pitt. Adrian Griffin, center, goes to the Gator Boys of Florida. Louisville loses out on this player, but has Mike Gray, so I guess a decision had to be made. And wasn't Louisville with two centers coming into their recruiting mix, but was the runner-up. And the Zags were the third position. All right, 13. Colin Whitting, Tenny, small forward. He signs, did not have a good Indy Elite camp. So I think the AI can pretty much have this guy if they want. No one really took him from human teams. Was a big time scorer in high school. The thing is, camp data is not always everything. I have seen guys put up numbers. Camp data might be focusing on some things of a balance in players. There is a chance that if this guy can score A plus, inside shoot A plus, as defense, and these things line up in terms of the skill ratings and scout lives, it looks better than camp data. So, maybe it's not gospel. We'll see. What's next? Number 12. Ray Stevens goes to Virginia, and I just put this offer out for Josh. So basically, Josh is getting his internet replaced from, I don't know, Cox is the company, apparently. And he's not going to have internet till next Friday. I had to get 3 teams in for him. He had some offers out. Wouldn't have made it tonight for an offer. In visit. He's one of the guys. Ray Stevens goes to Virginia. And so Josh is not shut out, even though he's not with us tonight. So congratulations, Josh. Okay, next. Donald Jarrett goes to Texas. Texas representing here. Looks like, players that were missed out from the lower ranks. Jarrett signed here. Maybe it was playing time. I think playing time was a big thing for those guys. So I know I came in on the Gordon pitch with playing time, and my team was at Creighton was terrible. So if these teams, Texas, whatever, they didn't have that option. That was actually a real bonus for how bad my team is. But anyways, Jarrett goes to Texas as an alternative. So now we're into the top 10. Here we go. Number 10. Vic Judd, not signed, West Coaster. Bob Huggins, though, is all over this player. Second is a human team with Graham looking at Vic Judd. Vic Judd is from Texas. I actually had some exploration of this guy in the Great Plains. And but not available and pretty picky. Pretty damn picky. All right, what's next? Here we go. Number 9. I don't even remember who's in it. Number 9, Jaron Jennings is not signed. Indiana's number 1, Butler number 2. Dame's still on Jaron Jennings, so Dame just throwing out those scholarships to whomever, but they're in on him and still unsigned. And we're moving on to the next. We're moving on to number 8. Number 8, Deion Clark signs with Huggins. CBGM Huggins. This is our man here. He's gonna make his presence felt, represent the logo, represent the brand. But Deion Clark, I don't know what's up with that fire crotch hair that he's got going there, but and the opposite color goatee, but he's not the most fashionable, but maybe he plays basketball, So this guy is going to West Virginia, and we're moving to number 7. Bernie Newton goes to Baylor, and hence the reason, I guess, why I didn't get this player in the end. So Baylor, the AI on Brutal, has broken Creighton's one-and-done dream of a player who might be drafted top 10 in the NBA. But Bernie Newton didn't lie to the public. Bernie Newton didn't lie to cards in his top 10. Bernie Newton signed with the Baylor Bears. OK State second. Didn't even put Creighton as runner-up, douche. And was most interested in conference prestige. So I think I pitched him location. I came in Nebraska. He's from Iowa. And missed it out. Okay, number 5. What am I saying? 6. Nick Tui goes to Oklahoma. Who called that? Anyone? But he beats out Kansas. Kansas has got shut out of Nick Tui. And Oklahoma, Genie Dapper, has got their guy over at Kansas. That's a nice score. All right. Top 5 time. Time for a big sip. All right. Here it is. This is the top 5. This is, I guess, what Cards is predicting. Agalia's chance to strike goal. And 2 out of the top 5 are predicted to go to Notre Dame. We got, I'm just drawing out this movement for a nice long little warm-up speech. Number 1 could go to the Buckeyes. Didn't show up on a lot of lists. Number 1 Indy, that's McCray. Hopefully he's signed. But then we got guys from Indiana. They look like they want to go to Notre Dame. And so we got Jacobson. We got a prediction of Jacobson going to, I think it was even Kentucky, or was it Kansas? I don't know. Anyways, number 5 for the masses of CBGM in our inaugural recruiting campaign. Number 5, Nick Burris, unsigned. Oh, shit. That was underwhelming, wasn't it? Nick Burris still has to think about it. Has to think about Marquette. Has to think about Xavier. Has to think about Notre Dame. So Nick Burris has some thoughts to make. Wants to talk it out. Just indecisive. But Nick Burris hasn't signed. All right. Next. Number 4. Here we go. Kurt Linney goes to shit. I don't know if I should be swearing. They're gonna ban the video on YouTube. Kurt Linney has taken himself to North Carolina. He knew what his stock was. Whatever this guy's doing, he used people. This guy pretended like he was gonna go somewhere, and then at the end of the day, he signed with a team to try to get drafted. I don't know. Nimmy B just got added to this league. I asked, he said he never played this game before, but he just struck gold in 2 cases. Yeah. Oh, the chat's actually getting into that as well. So Nimmy B apparently is not that bad, but he's figured out how to get a couple guys and do the AI's dirty work. Okay, here we go. Number 3, if we're all right on Linney now and everyone's kind of caught their breath, we're moving to number 3, and then Dan McCray time is number 2. So let's go. Number 3, Mike Jacobson has gone to Kansas. That was a prediction, I think. Kenny number 2, Nova number 3, West Virginia number 4. And this is it. After this next move to the left, you know, it kind of makes sense why, for Agalia, why Howard maybe signed, because, like, you know, there was playing time then afterwards. And then these kind of guys are undecided or they're signing somewhere else. And so I think, you know, some of it matters. Like, I lost the guy to Baylor in the top 10, and then I ended up stealing a guy, I guess, from Texas and Kansas and Anton Gordon. But this is it. Who's ready for this? Who's been up all night? Saturday night, I'm going to rev up this mouse and just move it around a little bit like this. Warm it up. Who's got good luck charms? Is it Ohio State? Is it, who else is in on this douche? Mich State. Is it North Carolina? Is it Marquette? Who is it? You know who it is? This is who it is. Oh my God. Oh, he wants to be Jordan. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. We were worried about the computer. We should be worried about Nimmy B. Hack the game. Nimmy B is coming with a bunch of one and dones at UNC to just bring back the glory to the Tar Heels. Well, folks, that's the simulation. Who wants to talk about it? It could be the computer. I think the computer actually could have added a bunch of points. Nimmy B had to think about it. Didn't tell us who he wanted to get. I don't even know if that's the guy's name. I should go look. But Dan McCray has now signed with North Carolina. And to wrap up the number one, we know Khalid Jones has gone to Kentucky. But, you know, someone's really happy in this league. They locked up 3 of the top 15 recruits at North Carolina. I don't know. What did Kansas got? Got Jacobson? What do some people got? There's still guys out there, though. Now's the time. We're going to get the save out right now. Thanks for everyone that came out tonight for the stream. This is one of the first times we've ever done like a live thing like this. And Dan McCray, he really teased everybody. And not only that, the prestige was so important that it leapfrogged Kentucky. He put Michigan State down to the bottom of his list. The in-visits came in. Duke moved up to number 6. Nova moved up to number 4. Illinois got in the mix. Butler dropped about 3 positions. But Dan McCray pushed Ohio State down and then decided to take the prestige of North Carolina. And so that's a wrap on tonight's recruiting. I'm going to get the save out, everybody. And I appreciate everyone being here, 24 people. I don't know if anyone else is open right now, if we can rate a channel or whatever. Is CTG Gaming going or whatever else? If we want to keep having a chat, we can have a chat here. Move it to the Discord. If you haven't heard about this league, this is the CBGM, and we're here to stay. And so there's not much more to say here. I think we can take it back to our chat. If you want to learn about it, the website is called cbgm.news, and you can go find information about available teams. This is using Draft Day Sports College Basketball 21. And so I thank everyone for being here tonight, and let's get at it. Let's talk about it. Let's now for teams to figure out what you need to do. So thanks for everybody for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. And is anyone out there streaming right now that we can go send all these people to in this room? Is Chimeric Team Gaming going? No. We could go to Out of the Park Developments. I think that's what we'll do. We'll move to another sim. And let's do that. So how do I go to Streamlabs? Thanks everyone for coming tonight. Well, yeah, I'm gonna send at least these people.